the Chamber of Commerce. I believe that through hard work and perseverance, many things can be done.
We're going to look at the Aubrey case, and we're going to look at the case of the little boy from Wisconsin. I won't call his name, but we're going to look at it and talk about how we as blacks are still struggling in the justice system, which is supposed to be a just justice system, and it's not. So we're going to do that. I'm getting to a point where I want to see the young people take the mantle, take the light, take the torch, whatever they got to take, and run with it.
So ask yourself some tough questions,
We are here working together. As Dr. King says, we're all in this boat together. We're doing great things. But we still have a far piece to go.
1619 on down to today, we need to know history. And we need to teach it. We need to show the students and teach them about what happened in this country. We can't sweep this under the rug.
We have to adjust to taking our mental wellness just as seriously as we would take our physical wellness.
Good evening, and welcome to Monday night. And on Monday night, what do we do? It's Urban Sentinel Live. I'm your host, Reggie Kearney. And tonight I have with me, I don't know what to call her. I don't know who to call her, co-host, my road dog, or what. I got Ravin Thissel with me tonight. And how you doing, Ravin?
I'm doing so good. I'm so happy to be here again, Reggie. I love coming on your show. This is like such a treat for me. I canceled so many things this week, but I did not cancel Urban Sentinel Live.
Well, thank you. One of the things that Urban Sentinel Live is committed to this year is to have a monthly discussion about mental health. And I think we really need to do that. We need to check in and check up on ourselves mentally as much as we can. So we have bounced around some topics, and we were just talking, before we came on. So we just thought tonight we would talk about just taking care of your own mental health when you need to. And I was relaying to Tony and to Ravin that a couple of weeks ago I didn't do shows because I was just drained. I mean, I burned the candle on both ends. Sometimes I cut the candle in half and burn those two ends. And so I just had to, I was just at a wall where I just had to stop. So talk to us, Ravin. Tell us about, when we need to just stop and just take care of ourselves.
Well, I'll start by saying I have to practice what I preach on this lately. For the last couple of years, I've been doing a really good job of making sure that I don't get to the point of being burnt out by keeping really good boundaries around my time and around my health, having a good mental hygiene regimen, meditating, making sure I spend time with loved ones, hugging somebody, eating food that feels warm for my soul and is healthy for my body. But this past week, I had been burned out, and not just burnt out, but I started to have chest pains. And I know that was because of stress. Are you okay, Reggie?
Oh, no, my eyes are just burning. That's all. I'm fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't want to be going off on the topic and you're not okay.
Oh, no. I'm fine.
Well, I was having some chest pains for several days, and I knew exactly what it was. I knew that it was stress. And so I had to be really relentless with making space and time for myself to rest. I had taken a vacation maybe less than 3 weeks ago. I had taken a vacation. I had taken some time. And since then, I hadn't had a day off. I've just been going. In addition to my work in marketing in the sports industry, I am the CEO of Thissel Consulting. And so I've been taking on a lot of consulting work, preparing for some big changes with my family members, and then hearing about the war and how that's going to affect my family, thinking through that. So I was just feeling more my body was telling me that I was overwhelmed. In my emotions, I really felt okay. So I think it's important to, when we talk about this topic of burnout, it's really important to pay attention to your body. Sometimes you feel like you're fine, you're moving, you're flowing, you're doing things. You're showing up how you're laughing when you're supposed to laugh. You know, you're shaking hands when you're supposed to shake hands, and you think you're okay, but your body might be telling you. That's how mine is. Body might be telling you it's time to take a seat. And you really have to tune into that, listen to that, and take it seriously. I was telling Reggie also before the show that I am relentless when it comes to that, because so many of us in the Black community die from stress-related illness. It's the reason why I founded Crown and Calm Co. to support Black people, the Black community, with our mental and emotional wellness. So we have to treat it like it is the absolute most important thing in our lives, because it is. It doesn't. Your job comes second to your mental health, to your physical health, even your family. You have to put yourself first.
Very interesting, very interesting. Because one thing we talked about before we came on, and even Tony alluded to it, that the older you get, you really feel like you need to just stop sometimes and smell the roses, because you're constantly going there because your body is changing. And I think that's one of the things I've noticed too. That as I grow older, my body's changing. I'm not doing 8 hours of sleep at night. I'm getting less sleep, but I'm trying to do more, and it just catches up with you. It just stops you. Bam. You just have to stop. And I agree with you too, Ravin. There's so much stuff going on in the world now that we are faced with anxiety.
Yeah.
Gasoline is high, electric. Your electric is high because electric companies are giving you, they're raising the prices. Everything is just attacking you. So your salary, for a lot of people, salaries haven't changed, but inflation is kicking everything up. So you got to worry about how you're going to pay this bill, how you're going to take care of the family, how you're going to put food in your plate, on your table, how are you going to do it, But then you're just getting like wired. How do we guard against the anxiety that the world is causing us right now?
On purpose. We have to defend our mental health at like it's a war, pretty much, because it is. There are so many different types of things moving in our not moving in our favor when it comes to having a strong sense of mental wellness, myself included, right? Even I'm an expert. I'm a professional holistic health coach. I'm not immune to these seasons of high stress and having to intentionally cultivate my own mental and emotional wellness. We all deal with this. So when you ask how, it really is, it depends on you, person by person. We have to be really honest with ourselves about what's really causing the stress. Pay attention to ourselves, check in and ask, am I okay? If I'm not okay, a lot of times the answer is, well, what do you need? Oh, I could use $1 million. I actually asked 2 friends this week, hey, how are you doing? $1 million wouldn't hurt is both of their responses. So money tends to be a big stressor for most of us. So if money is the stressor for you, find ways to either, how can I make more? A lot of us, it's not the fact that we're irresponsible. It's just that we don't have enough money coming in. How can I get more money coming in? What do I need to do? Asking for help. Sometimes it's a time thing. I have the kids, I've got work, I've got, to show up for this person or that person. Learning how to say no and learning how to ask for help are 2 things that support you in that space. And then also getting really rooted in our core values. When money is the stressor, when family members are the stressors, reminding ourselves, okay, what's really, really important to me? If my life were to end tomorrow, what would be the thing that I would regret not doing today? Let me just do that. And if I don't do anything else, I won't let anybody pressure me or make me feel bad. I'm just going to do the thing that is absolutely most important to me today. And sometimes we also have to just say, fuck it. Okay, am I allowed to cuss on your show?
You already have.
Too late.
Hey, do it, girl. Do it.
I think that's one of my
Get
favorite
the point
things.
across.
Right. I say it to myself all the time. It's like,
Uh-huh.
I could put a lot of energy there, or I could just say, fuck it. There's actually a book that I recommend. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's a really good book. It's about prioritizing your energy and placing all of your energy in the places where you really, really care. And then not caring about everything else. Like, I highly recommend it for anybody who's struggling to prioritize their energy. I have actually today, I had phone calls from 4 friends, and I told 3 of them, I cannot talk to you today. I love you, but I'm prioritizing my energy for me. So let's talk another time. Can we talk tomorrow? I'm not sure how I'll be doing tomorrow. How about this? Instead of making plans, let me call you when I'm ready. Okay. So being transparent, people are understanding of that. People in your life are understanding of that. Not a single one of them felt offended because they know I love them for how I show up. So how can we cultivate better mental health? It has to be done on purpose. It's not going to just a time is not going to come when there are going to be less stressors, when bills are not going to be due, when kids are not going to be hungry, when wars are not going to be breaking out. We can't wait for those things to come about before we are well. We have to do it now. We have to do the things that it takes to be well right now.
But I think the world has pushed us to the point where we are now because, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking back and looking at my grandparents and my great grandparents. They didn't roll like we roll. I mean, life was simple. Okay. They had a TV with 4 channels on it. They didn't have cell phones. They didn't have technology. They worked the farms, so they were exercising. Even though they weren't doing jumping jacks and running around the farm work was actually exercise for them. So they were always doing something to keep them physically in shape. And probably because of that, it kept them mentally in shape. But they didn't have the worries or the worrations, as they would say, that we have now. Because we just got so much that's punching at us all the time. Sometimes I really think, if I wasn't involved with so much stuff, I probably would just take my cell phone and throw it in and flush it down the toilet, honestly.
I feel you.
I would honestly do that because I think that's another thing that keeps us keeps us from being grounded because people are able to connect with us 24/7. Okay, because of cell phones. It was cute looking at Dick Tracy with a watch, a telephone watch on his arm where he could talk to on his arm, his watch, But now I think it's not getting so funny now because we're accessible to people all the time.
Yes.
So I don't know.
I think that's a really important point too, Reggie, is we have to own that accessibility. Just because it's been normalized for everybody to have access to you on your cell phone, I have settings on my phone. Certain people can reach me at a certain time. Everybody can't reach me all the time. And then I have, maybe I'm a bit extreme with things, but that's because I know I've struggled with anxiety for many years. I've been depressed, you know what I'm saying? So I take my mental wellness very seriously. I don't accept work calls when it's not work time, whether it's my full-time job or my consulting work. My clients know, don't call me on a weekend. I'm not picking up. I'll call you back on Monday during the hours that I am working. So prioritizing that access, even social media, people can call you on Facebook Messenger. They don't even, they don't have your phone number. So go to your settings and make it so that only the people who you want to be reached by can reach you. And don't feel guilty about that. It's not normal for human beings to have this much accessibility to one another. So normalize limiting access to you. And you can do it in polite ways. I'm very direct with the people in my life. But if you're not that type of person, that's okay. You don't have to become that type of person. You can say things in a very sweet way. You can be, hey, I'm sorry that I missed your call. I was, you can give people an explanation if you want to. I don't. because I'm not so. I mean, I'm not sorry with what I'm doing with my time.
Right.
Maybe I was prancing through the forest. I'm not sorry I was doing that. So it's about owning all the lanes in our lives. Your mental health is only for you. It's so precious and it's fragile. And so we have to treat it like it's fragile.
I tell you, times have really changed. I mean, even just looking back 5 years ago, we weren't that concerned with our mental health. And now it's one of the top, I would say one of the top 3 illnesses in the world, is mental health now. And we've seen so much happen to different people, because especially in the Black community, the suicide rate is going up. And I think a lot of it is just around the fact that people are just pressuring themselves to do more than what they really need to do. And they're not taking time for themselves. I mean, sometimes I feel like I wish I could take off just a whole month, go to the Bahamas or somewhere and just chill out for just a whole month. Just do a whole 31-day get away from the world type of thing.
What's stopping you?
I need $1 million, okay?
Well, that's the thing. Like, so the culture, social media teaches us that we do need $1 million. We gotta have this. We need that. It teaches us to have all of these attachments when really we don't need $1 million.
Yeah.
We don't.
Really thinking. I'm seriously thinking about it. Just maybe this summer, just shut it down. I mean, because you look at your calendar. Okay, I got to do this. I got to do that. I promise this person I do this. I promise this person I do that. Hey, if I fall over dead today, everything's gonna keep on going. Nothing's gonna stop.
Right, but you.
Right? That's right. Basically, I would have been stopped. But people bounce back and they'll keep on doing.
There are a lot of people who are leaving America. There are a lot of people who are leaving America. They're either moving overseas to Africa or Europe, or some of them are choosing a simpler, quieter life in a smaller country where $1 stretches a whole lot farther than it stretches here. And so, and it's so doable. It really is. So that's why I said, what's stopping you? Because a lot of times, the only thing stopping us is us.
Yeah.
But you're bringing a good point about the times that we live in are very different. I was thinking about this before the show, how social media really is a vehicle for comparison. It causes us to compare to compare our present moment, how we are right now in our real life, to advertisement. Back in the time that you're referring to, maybe you might see 2 or 3 ads in a day or even a week, depending on how much TV you watched or if you read magazines. But now your friends are advertisements on social media. Everybody that you see, companies want to access them so they can sell you things, and they want the companies to access them because they want to make the money. This is a way of life now. So regular everyday people are living and looking like ads. And when you're not choosing that, when you're not choosing to wear makeup every second of the day, when you're not choosing, you don't drive a fancy car, you don't have a big house, maybe your kids are not, honor roll students, so you're comparing yourself literally to an advertisement next door. And it is very harmful. People refer, when we talk about suicide, that's happening a lot in the Black community, depression, anxiety, mental illness. People are looking at some of those surface things and not looking at the systemic aspect of it. So social media brings the systemic comparison that is very dangerous and harmful to the collective psyche. And then on top of that, as Black people, we have a myriad of systemic pressures and generational traumas that contribute to making the Black community the highest concentrated group of people that have mental illness that's undiagnosed, because it's easier to look at a Black person and say, oh, they are just lazy, irresponsible, whatever, and not say they are just traumatized as a group. And they are suffering with anxiety. They're suffering with depression. They're suffering with, he's not acting up in class. He's a genius. He can't focus because his brain is moving faster than everybody else. You call it ADHD. Maybe it is ADHD. But the fact of the matter is, this child's mind is moving faster than what everybody else in the class can keep up with. He's a genius, right? Like, so the and that's a byproduct of having so many things to have to think about as a Black person. In addition to thinking about our bills, our kid, worrying about our kids, and the normal things that we have to do as citizens, we also have the systemic pressures of fighting stereotypes and profiling and police brutality and the fear mongering that happens in our day-to-day lives, and being the token Black person at work and trying not to act too Black so you get the job, and hiding your name. Your name is, giving away your race, and all of these things that nobody else has to think about except for us. Of course, there's a higher instance of mental health in the Black community. Of course, we need more support than anybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why platforms like yours I applaud, because not only are you taking mental health seriously, you're not just doing it for one episode, you're making it a theme, and you're making people aware that it's okay to not be okay. The story that you're telling on your show by doing segments like this is a story that resonates with more people than you probably realize. Every single one of us in the Black community, we need some sort of mental health support.
Now, let's talk about the church and mental health, okay?
Okay.
And the reason I say this is because I think a lot of times we in the church, we are only laymen, okay? We're not experts at handling certain situations. But one of the things that has happened over the ages, the years, is that people have felt the need to go to their pastor to seek counseling, whether it be, marital or family or even mental health counseling. But the church, unless you have a professional at your church that can handle this, handle mental health, your pastor is not the person to go to.
I couldn't agree more. And you might not want me on your show no more after this.
Well,
I'm going to keep it straight.
Yeah, I don't know where it got started at, who told somebody that you got to go to the pastor for everything, but the pastor needs to have resources, okay?
Yeah.
And he needs to direct people to resources, okay? Look, love the church, love the Bible, love the pastor, love everything, okay? But the church cannot handle certain situations.
I completely agree. And you nodded to not sure where it came from. I can share a little bit about where it came from.
Okay.
There's a twofold thing happening here. The primary thing, I'll speak about the Black community specifically. The church was the only place where people could read. Mm-hmm. It was the only place where you didn't have any white people at. Mm-hmm. Usually, sometimes there would be an overseer or a white kind of spy to make sure there wasn't going to be an uprising from the conversations happening in church. There might be a white person present to supervise the church service. But for the most part, that was the only place that was safe. Mm-hmm. And so the idea is that idea has been passed down. You can't go to those white people and talk about your problems. You really need to act like you're fine. Mm-hmm. And then you also have the control dynamic. So church, for the most part, is a business in America. And you going somewhere else to get what you get here, that's money going out the door. So I have an incentive to change kind of what the Bible says, or, give you my interpretation of what it says, to mean that this is the only place where you need to be pouring out your heart. Personally, when I used to go to church, I was a part of a non-denominational church in Virginia where I had gotten some premarital counseling before I got married. I continued that counseling into my marriage, and then I realized these people are not helping. They're actually making this worse. Mm-hmm. They are making the situation worse because they are not trained. And I was also getting individual counseling from these people, from another pastor at the same church. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that he said, I can't remember what it was, but he said something in therapy, and I knew it wasn't right. And I thought in that moment, I'm about to go find a professional. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, the main head pastor in the church said from the pulpit, you don't need to go and talk to a therapist. You don't need to go and take any medication. The only thing you need is Jesus Christ. And that was the last time I went to church. I never went back after that. And I'm not saying that church as a whole is bad for everyone. Definitely go to church if that's what's working for you. If you are finding more peace, and a lot of people do, a lot of people find more peace. And I wouldn't say walk away from having a spiritual life at all. Having a spiritual life and a relationship or a theology of any kind is scientifically proven to make your health better. So I definitely would recommend having some sort of a spiritual practice in your life. And in addition to having your spiritual practice, have some place where you can sincerely get professional assistance and services to help you with every aspect of your health, your mental, your physical, your emotional health, whatever that may look like for you. And you can go to your pastor and have counseling, and you can go to a professional licensed clinical therapist. You don't have to choose one or the other. You can have both. And I would question any spiritual authority that told you differently.
And see, one of the things that pastors don't take advantage of, there are programs out here and degrees you can get that give you the basis for counseling. Okay, so if you're going to find yourself, if you think you're going to find yourself in a position that you need to be a counselor, there are programs that certify you in the area of counseling and certain types of counseling. You need to take advantage of those if you're going to be trying to counsel people. And a lot of pastors won't even take advantage of those programs. Okay, and like you said, a lot of them will just tell you, just go home, read some scriptures, and pray about it. God will work it out for you.
And then you feel like something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
You feel like, well, it's still not working. I'm praying. I'm doing everything the pastor said. I'm going to these meetings, and I really do believe. I really have faith. I'm sincere in my faith. I'm doing everything that Pastor so and so told me to do, but I still feel so sad, or I still am having these anxiety attacks. What's wrong with me? And then you go into the depressed, you go into this spiral because you're not getting what you really, really need.
The Bible tell you faith without works is dead. The works is going to the extra step, taking the extra step to go to talk to someone who's skilled at counseling, who's a professional. Okay, and that's where the works come in. If you talk to that person, build your faith on that person, that person is going to help you handle that situation. And then I think sometimes in the church, sometimes it can be about control, by the pastor being able to control their congregation. Tony said in the comments that some pastors aren't stable, and that's true.
It's true.
If they trying to take care of helping somebody out of a situation, and that situation at home or even with themselves is not in a stable as stable as it should be. So sometimes we can be our own worst enemies. So we got to work beyond that. But I think the biggest thing is we've got to take time out when you feel like your body is just dragging you down. It's just take that time and rest. Just close the door. I don't care. You gotta go lay down in the closet somewhere. Just go lay down. Just get yourself, rejuvenate yourself.
Yes.
We do run hard these days.
But I would say this too, Reggie. Whether it's a pastor or a licensed clinical therapist, you need to vet anybody who you're going to be sharing the most intimate parts of yourself with. Vet that person. Ask them qualifying questions. When I have had the same therapist for the last couple of years, but I've worked with other therapists in the past, and I've had good therapy and I've had bad therapy, and it makes a difference. So before I go into my life with a therapist, I have qualifying questions that I ask that person in the first session. We're not going to talk about me until I understand that this is truly a safe place for me. So I highly recommend whomever you're going to counsel with, if it's a pastor or otherwise, make sure you qualify them.
Yeah, we got to do that. we got to do that. Sometimes I don't know if you watch him on YouTube, Dawson. He's pretty. He just tells it like it is. A lot of his commentary is centered around the church and pastors and things of that nature. And he even talks about how pastors, certain pastors aren't qualified to sit down with you and counsel you. That's just out of their ballpark. But again, they think if they can say read a couple scriptures to you and tell you go home and pray, you're gonna be all right. It's not that easy.
Mm-hmm. It can be an ego trip, Sometimes it can be an ego trip. It's like, oh, they respect me. They want to hear what I have to say. Oh, well, yes, absolutely. I'll talk to you and speak into your life. It's about me. It's about validating my self-image. But
Right.
somebody who really cares about you will tell you, I can't counsel you on this. I don't know. I haven't been through a sexual trauma before.
Mm-hmm.
I can't walk with you through that from an informed place, but maybe this person can, or maybe this resource. So trust people who don't make it all about themselves and don't try to be your savior, your well. That's not a healthy place to really pour yourself into. A lot of these people have really big egos.
Yeah. For me, if you come to me about something, I'm gonna give you a resource.
Okay.
I have a list of resources, places you can go, people you can call, 1-800 numbers you can use. Okay,
Make sure you put me as on your resource list if they need.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. And maybe next month we'll remind people again next month what you're doing in the program you have, and bring it back on the deck. I'm pretty sure because we talked about that in December. So
Yes.
It's been a while since we talked about it. I'm pretty sure. Gosh, December was just a couple months ago. I'm acting like December was like 6 months ago. Okay.
I know it feels like it though.
Yeah,
it does
feel like. I feel like we're in the 6 months into the year. But we'll go back and visit what you're doing. Okay, that'll be a great resource for people to use your programs to help them, move along and get along, with life and everything, So, but again, with Ravin and I, Ravin is like uh, my co-host at the end of the month. I've dedicated the last Monday night of the month, and that's Raven's night, to come on and talk to us, because I think this is just so daggone important, to talk about mental health. And I wish we could really reach more people, because there are more people out here suffering than we know, that don't know about Urban Sentinel Live and don't know about the last Monday night of the month, where we just sit down and we talk about mental health, because it's just so important and everything, So we just.
I trust that God, the universe, is showing these episodes to whomever needs them in the right time. I trust that. Yeah. And also, Reggie, I don't know if I've told you that I have my own show now as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have an IBM TV network show. So every episode of my show is about holistic wellness. That comes on. You can follow my YouTube channel. It's just Ravin Thissel, and it's every Sunday evening. Not everybody. It's some Sundays.
Right.
But yeah, so I'm over there on YouTube and a few other places, but that's where I send people is YouTube.
Now, what time are you on?
8 p.m. Central.
Okay. That's good. Hey, the more we can put it out there, the more we can reach, and that's what it's all about, reaching people.
Yes.
We got to have 100 television stations to do it, and that's what we got to do. But we got to reach people, because I think we're in the crisis mode right now when it comes to mental health in the Black community. We need to get it right. We need to get it right. So for everyone that's been with us tonight, I appreciate you being with us. For those who like to tune into Real World News TV, we're not going to air tomorrow night because of the State of the Union address. We need to see what's going on, what the president is talking about, because a lot is going on in the world right now, and we just need to talk about it, we need to hear about it, what his plans are to try to keep us on the course. It's crazy out here right now. It's just really crazy out here. A lot of things are happening. So I would like to thank my co-host Ravin for joining us tonight, the last Monday night of the month, to continue this conversation about mental health. And we will be back again fourth Monday night in March.
Yay! So I'm welcome back. All right.
Yeah, so we'll be back again to talk about mental health again, and then it's just something we got to do, and it's something I'm committed to. And I've just, I was booking some people for shows for March and April, and they were talking about the fourth Monday night. We don't do the fourth Monday night. The last Monday night of the month, dude, that's Raven's night. That's
Thank
night
you.
to discuss.
It's an honor to come on and speak on this topic. It's so important in my life's work. Thank you.
That's what we do. That's what we do. So you don't get the last Monday night of the month. You can hang that up. You would not get that. I'm committed to it. I am committed to it. So look, Raven, thanks again for joining us. Just for might be some new people on tonight. Tell them how they can get in touch with you.
Sure. You can follow me on Facebook at Ravin Thissel Live, Instagram at Ravin Thissel, TikTok at Ravin Thissel, and be sure to tune in to Ravin Thissel Live on YouTube on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Central. You can also visit crownedcalm.com to find meditation and mindfulness resources for melanated people, and thisselconsulting.com.
Okay, I hope y'all remember that. Just just Google Raven Thissel. You'll find it. Everything is Google these days. So look, Raven, take care. We'll be talking. Just keep spreading the message. Keep doing what you're doing. We need you. We need you. We need you. And to the people and to my audience, I thank you for tuning in to the show tonight. Appreciate it. I appreciate you. I love you. Go out and have a great week. It is what it is out here in this world now. Let's continue to pray that things will just get better. Okay, so until next Monday night, take care. Have a great week. Keep wearing your mask. Make sure because I'm gonna keep wearing masks. Okay.
Yes.
Wearing masks. So look, peace out, everyone. Be good to yourself now. Good night. Bye.